So last week I came before all you guys and talked about how much I loved Arcade1Up and how excited I was to be collecting their machines and the nostalgia it brought forward. This week I'm going to do a little bit different video. I'm going to talk about what bothers me about Arcade1Up. Well, bothers a strong word, and it's also not their fault. A lot of it has to do with the fact that I'm trying to be an Arcade1Up enthusiast in Canada. So before anybody gets a wrong idea what this video is going to be about, it's not about the fact that there's so many deals on these Arcade1Up cabinets in the US. Realistically, I know what this is. Everybody knows what this is. These are stock being put in the stores, managers getting impatient with how much space these arcade cabinets take up, and putting them on super clearance very quickly. That's not the point of contention that I'm bringing up today. Price point is going to come up, but it's not that. I understand that. I have no problem with paying regular price. I think these things are fantastic. I'm not going to say that, it's not a little hard to look at. Like currently right now, I'm considering buying the Marvel cabinet. So I'm trying to scrape together $600 Canadian by the time taxes are done to buy it. And I saw someone with a receipt today that said they got it for $79. So, that kind of sucks, but that's not one of the major points. The point that I do want to bring up is the price point here in Canada. It's a little bit different. Now, that's not 100% Arcade1Up's fault. I don't think that they're gouging us because we live in a different country. Reality is, Canadian dollar just kind of sucks right now. Canadian dollar is at a point where I remember being when I was like 15 to 16, and at the time, video games in the States were regularly sold for like $49 to $59, and they'd be $79 to $99 here. So unfortunately, we're right back there. There was an amazing time where the Canadian dollar was about equal with the US dollar, and at times the Canadian dollar was actually worth more. And that was a very good time because we got everything for around the exact same price. But now it's gone completely downhill again. Unfortunately, the economy just fell apart. The price of oil, bottom went out of it, and that seems to fuel most of Canada's economy, and our dollar just dropped. So unfortunately, when these cabinets come out, they're regularly, take a look at the first wave and even the second wave. So when the first wave came out, they were $2.99 brand new in the US. In Canada, they were $3.99, so we had to pay an additional $100. And that was still a pretty acceptable price point. Then wave 2 came out, and they were still $2.99 in the US. You could buy basically you could buy Mortal Kombat, Marvel, all those cabinets for $2.99 brand new in the US. By the time they came to Canada, in order to buy Mortal Kombat, it was actually $529. You know what? That's a huge jump. I spent a fortune on my Mortal Kombat cabinet, and it sucks. Especially now, you see most of the price point in the States is around $199 for that cabinet. Most people are picking it up for. So, yeah, $529, really steep. Then you have our sales tax on top of that. We pay, in my province, Newfoundland, 15% sales tax. So, by the time it's all done, you're looking at $610 to buy an Arcade1Up cabinet. Now, there's a little bit of a difference. Luckily, we get slightly different packages. So, the example is Mortal Kombat is $529 here, but it also comes with a custom riser. So, I mean, that custom riser is really cool. Riser is usually around $69 Canadian. You do out the math, and it's a little bit closer, but still, it's a little bit of a price jump, right? It's $529. It's the only way you can get it. So I'm going to talk about this a little later, too, but we talked about the different packages we just got for the last wave. Like Mortal Kombat came with the included riser for $529, but even in the next wave, you'll notice that in the US price point for NBA Jam, Pac-Man, and Frogger is $4.99. But here in Canada, NBA Jam is $5.99, Pac-Man and Frogger are $5.79. And when you do the conversion, it looks like Canadians are actually saving about $20. So it looks like one of the times where, us Canadians are actually doing a little bit better. But the reality is, we get everything you guys get, except we're not getting the included stool. And I think the stools retail for $79 US. So in the end, we're not doing as well. So it kind of sucks. The next point I really want to talk about is my major bone of contention and my problem with being an Arcade1Up enthusiast, collector, or whatever here in Canada, is there's a massive availability issue. Like, we're talking massively massive. So with the first wave, we pretty much got everything that the US got. We got all the same cabinets. Price point was a little higher here because of the exchange rate, but that was it. That was the only difference. So I said, this is going well. The only thing that was a little bit difficult with the first wave was the risers. Oh my God, the risers. There was nowhere to buy a riser here in Canada. Now, I live in Newfoundland, which is a little island off the coast of Canada. We're still part of Canada, but there was never a time when I physically saw a riser available in a store. We're talking Walmart, we're talking Best Buy. Everywhere that sold these Arcade1Ups, there were no risers. You just could not buy one. The only option was Walmart had an online order system, so you could get a riser, but it would take about a month. And they sold out super quick. Like, I bought my Street Fighter cabinet Black Friday. Within a week on Walmart.ca, the risers were all sold out, and they never ever did a restock, so there was no way to get a riser. I've only physically been able to buy one riser, and that was from London Drugs, which I didn't even know they had Arcade1Up cabinets, but they had a riser. You would basically have to get it shipped from them. It's $69.99, which means it's $5 away from having free shipping, so you had to pay the shipping with it too. I've never actually looked to see what the shipping was. Now, to be fair, there was an option that you could just add a couple more items and get it for free. And I've been on some of the Canadian fan pages and we had funny discussions. Like, somebody said, yeah, I enjoyed some gum with my riser. But anyways, the risers are no longer even available from there. They have just recently stopped shipping out the risers. London Drugs is only in the western part of Canada. So unless you can physically go to a store, there's no possibility of a riser. There is another store called The Brick, which you can't order online, but apparently some of the stores have some risers in stock. And there's some way to get them that way. That's the only way in Canada to get a riser. Now, in the States, I know that there's a bit of a riser shortage now, but like, I'm still seeing friends, because I have friends looking for one right now, to actually go and find one for me and then be able to ship it to me. And, that's a little bit successful. So the only real option we have is to either get lucky from The Brick or get somebody from the US to actually find one and ship it to us. But after Wave 1, that was pretty much the end of in-store availability here. I've seen up in Eastern Canada, the more located parts like Quebec, Ontario, some stores have had stock in there, but if you go to Walmart.ca or EB Games, most of these cabinets are order only. EB Games is pretty good to work with because if you order a cabinet from EB Games, they can usually get it here in 5, 6... It's really about 10 business days, which equates to somewhere between 5 to 10 days, so almost about 2 weeks. And with Walmart, you can order online, and that usually takes about 2 weeks. But you're also dealing with the problem of getting stuff shipped in. I had a Mortal Kombat 2 come in from Walmart, and the box was just absolutely mauled. And like, this is their own shipping. I don't think they were using they use a courier, but like, the box was mauled. It was destroyed. So you get it, and you're like, I don't want to accept this package. It's destroyed. Like, there's parts of it open. I can openly see parts of the box broken up, and the only option is you can return it to store, which is great. However, you don't get your money back right away. It takes about 5 to 6 days for the money to go back in your account, and then you're doing the same thing again, ordering another one. So that's kind of frustrating. Like, I wish there was a way for me to just be able to go out to the store and pick up one of these cabinets. I know that's asking a lot, and I know they're even thinking about moving away from that in the US. You look at options like Burger Time and the Marvel Limited Edition cabinet, they're going to go for more direct sales online. That's the option. And the great thing about that is it improves reliability on the product, because you've got people like me that are paying full price for this cabinet, and then you see somebody getting it for like, $150 from a Walmart in the States, and it takes away from the reliability. It makes you double question your purchase. So I know that's one of the things. They're trying to get away from that retail space. But at the same time, there's a huge benefit to retail space. Like, I don't I know this is the epitome of first world problems, but I don't really want to wait like 2 weeks to a month to get a cabinet. Like, I ordered Final Fight from London Drugs. That took a full month to get here. Mortal Kombat, like I said, that took about 2 weeks after I ordered it for it to come. So that's a little frustrating. I'd like to be able to just go to a store and get the cabinet. Talking about availability, and you know, we got problems with the risers. You can't get any of the cabinets in store. There's also issues with, we just can't get some of the cabinets here. Like, the countercades. There was nowhere to buy the countercades. Like, you could order them from London Drugs, and that was the only option. Walmart.ca, EB Games, none of those actually carried any of the countercades. None of the parts are available. We can't buy stools. You know, all that stuff that you see. I saw a post earlier today, people showing off, like, furniture store they were in. They had stools, they had, like, lit up marquees for the walls, other, like, cool things to go with the cabinets. There's no option for us to get any of that here. And that kind of sucks. So, like, there's this company I'm really interested in, you know, I have money that I'd love to spend on them, but it's very hard for me to do so because there's just no availability here. It's not in store, and it's actually really complicated to find someone to order from. Most of the time you're going to eBay and then you're paying an even further premium price. It'd be nice to get this stuff directly from a retailer. Last thing I want to say about availability is some stuff is openly frustrating. Like, for example, before I bought Final Fight from London Drugs, before I found out about it, Final Fight was available on their website. It was listed as $199 US. You know, I added it to cart. You know, I figured shipping would be about the same as what the Burger Time shipping was, about $75 US. So that would have worked out to about $280 American. I was like, dandy, that's well worth it. So I went ahead and tried to order it. No good. It does not ship to your location. Some of the stock that Arcade1Up even have on their site is only available to be shipped in the US. Not everything. I mean, I can get Burger Time. There was a limited number of cabinets, because I actually wrote their technical support and asked about it. There was a limited number of cabinets they would ship here. But we're dealing with another issue. Like, you cannot get the stuff shipped here. The stuff that you can get shipped here, the shipping from Arcade1Up, as you know, it's a little pricey to Canada. I just mentioned it's about $80 US, usually $80 to $100 US to get a cabinet shipped from Arcade1Up to my location. I mean, it's a huge chunk of change to add on to an already expensive purchase. So that's really frustrating as a Canadian consumer. Like, I'd love to get a Burger Time cabinet, but I'm looking at $3.99 US plus another $80 in shipping. I mean, a massive chunk of change to get that. So, you know, that's what kind of dissuaded me from getting Burger Time. Also, it's, you know, it's an amazing cabinet, but it's not one of the absolute core necessity cabinets like the ones behind me. So, you know, I have to, at this time, not get it. I'd love to have it. I actually love Burger Time, but it's, with the shipping, it's a little too steep for me to jump in on. There's also an issue, I haven't experienced it yet, about import fees that someone told me about, that after you receive your package, sometimes there's an additional import fee. I haven't experienced it yet. Anybody else that's like me in Canada who's ordered from the US site, you can chime in on this. I don't know. I don't really want to comment anymore because I haven't experienced it yet. The only thing I have ordered from Arcade1Up's actual site is a Street Fighter deck protector. Now, I was an early adopter, and I knew there was the option to, you know, call up their support and just get a free deck protector, because it's one thing they were doing with the community. I really respect that. But I always felt guilty. I was like, my cabinet's not really, you know, worn or anything like that. I don't really need the deck protector, so I just never did it. Then I got my TMNT cabinet and noticed how nice it felt with the plexiglass deck protector, and I said, well, I gotta do it. So I went ahead, and on their site, the deck protector is listed for $12.50. Might have been $10.50, and no, it's $12.50. So $12.50 for the deck protector. I was like, great, that's an excellent price. Shipping was an additional $40. $40 to get the deck protector shipped here. So by the time it all came in, it was $56 Canadian just to get the deck protector here. I'm very excited to have it, but I mean, like, geez, that's a huge chunk of change to add on after the fact, and it's making me feel pretty stupid right now for not originally contacting them when they made that offer for the free deck protector. such is life. So, that's tough, because if we wanted to get something like a new PCB, deck protector, back-top joysticks, you're talking about a major shipping charge to get it brought here to Canada. So that's a little tough. It'd be really nice if they had a secondary warehouse here in Canada, where if we were going to order something, the warehouse in Canada could be the ones that actually ship it to us, and maybe the shipping fees and, problems with import charges would be a little less. Possibly problems with import charges be a little less for us Canadian consumers. That would certainly make me feel more excited about possibly getting something else from their online site. So now we get to the last part, the future cabinets, everything that's coming out. We've seen NBA Jam is up for pre-order right now. It's only in 2 locations in Canada so far. It's at EB Games, and it's also at The Brick. So the only option I have here in Newfoundland is, because we don't have a Brick right now, is to order through EB Games. So, it's $5.99. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to jump in. That price point's a lot higher, but it's got a lighted marquee and the riser. So, it is what it is. But we're talking about almost another $100 jump from the last wave. And I know every single time it gets better, so we'll see. What I'm nervous about is pinball's coming up pretty soon, Arcade1Up Pinball. And I never knew I'd be so excited about pinball, virtual pinball as I am. I can't wait to actually get my hands on this device. But, I know some of the cabinets are coming here. I'm not 100% sure that we're going to get the full stock. So are we going to get the pinball tables? These are the questions I ask. I don't know what's going to be coming in the future. They've talked about improving the distribution lines, so I'd love to see it. I know also where I'm to in Newfoundland, we also just got a Brick announced, so I'm really excited about that. From what people tell me, the Brick locations up away actually have a lot more stock. They have stock on hand. They possibly have risers if they bring in some of the old stock. So I'm hoping when the Brick comes here, we'll actually get some physical items in store, because I'm the kind of person, like I've said this a bunch of times probably already in the video, I would rather just go to a store and, look through something and pick something up. I don't really like ordering things in. So hopefully when the Brick gets here, I'm going to have more options. Anyways, guys, I have sat on here and complained a load of times, and I hope you understand, I know these are not real problems, these are first world problems, but it is a little bit more difficult to be interested in Arcade1Up here in Canada. And I hope as time goes on in the future with the new releases, I hope things get a little bit more available here and a little bit more accessible to us. Price point is what it is. That's the fact of the Canadian dollar. I just want to be able to get these things. I want to have the same buying options as people in the US. That's really all I'm looking for. I have a sickness in this hobby. I want to get as much as possible, and I want to have the availability to do that. I still see people going out and getting Wave 1 cabinets, and I'm excited because Arcade1Up announced that they're possibly going to re-release some of these Wave 1 cabinets, which is a massive relief because you can no longer even get them here. They just don't exist. You might see a random Pac-Man that's, $499 for the machine with no deck protector and no riser, which nobody's going to buy. But there's no other option for Pac-Man, Galaga, any of those. And, I got a very 90s arcade right now. I'd love to put a retro machine in here. I just got to be able to get my hands on it. Anyways, that's enough of me griping. I know for the people in the US, you're just going to say, whatever, man. But for the other people in Canada watching this, share your own experience. Maybe it's different in your area. Maybe the stuff's a lot more accessible. I've seen some really cool things about Quebec locations, about stock being there, even some manager special on pricing. But it doesn't seem like that's the way it is all the way across Canada. And I'm a little bit jealous of the people that actually live close to a border who can just drive over to the States and go pick up whatever they want, sometimes on sale, and then drive back. Again, I live on an island off the coast of Canada. It's impossible to do. So maybe I'm on my own island with this problem. Let me know that too. Anyways, guys, thanks for listening to me. Not all my videos will be about Arcade1Up. It's just something I'm really interested in now. And I'll talk to you guys next time.